Let's go back in time to the year 2013. Everything is seemingly simple. I am finishing up my degree at a local community college. I got accepted into UNCW. And I'm planning a cruise with my best friend at the time. Along with all of this, I am packing and getting ready to move to Wilmington for the first time. Then one night, one simple conversation, and everything changes. Reality hits, and it hits hard. My foundation is completely shaken. I still remember that car ride home from the Mexican restaurant like it was yesterday. I rode with my dad to dinner. Why? Because I like his truck and my mom was getting on my nerves. She had been doing that a lot recently, picking fights, nagging, acting different. I blamed it on menopause, but I knew there had to be more going on. But there we were, just me and my dad, listening to some classic rock stations softly on the radio. I should have known then that something was wrong, because in Dad's truck, our music was loud, and anytime we were in the car, the music was up as loud as it can go, and the windows were down. It drove my mom nuts. But tonight, the music was barely a whisper on the radio. I heard the road noise more than I heard the music. It was strange. My dad then turned the radio off, which might seem minuscule to some, but it was a big deal for us. I knew something was about to happen. My dad turned to me, and he asked, "Do you know the password to Mom's Facebook?" He said quietly. It threw me off. Of course I know the password. I'm the one who set up Facebook for both my mom and my dad. Because let's face it, parents and technology do not mix very well. So I sat there for a second, in silence, just thinking about how I could answer this. Some things you need to know about me. I am a daddy's girl. I always have been, and I always will be. My dad is my best friend. My dad is usually carefree, and funny, and goofy, and silly, and he likes to be the life of the party. But there was no party in that truck tonight. There was no party going on in his head. He is my rock. I know everything about him, and to him, I am always going to be his little princess. But something was changing. I felt it. I know men aren't supposed to show emotion, but I could read every emotion on my dad's face that night. The sadness bounced off the headlights of the other cars. The hurt resonated in the wrinkles on his forehead, and the confusion sat heavy on my shoulders. Something is just not right. Yes, I know her password. What's going on? I asked. I needed to know what was going on. It's nothing, Princess, my dad replied softly, and he turned the music back on. I knew then that this wasn't nothing. I'm a very curious person by nature. I like knowing things and knowing answers, and I do not like being left in the dark. But this is one situation where I had just let it go and been okay with nothing. We got home before my mom that night, and my dad quickly went inside like there was no conversation at all. My brain was going 500 miles an hour. What's going on? Why does Dad want Mom's Facebook password? What can I do? Is there something I can fix? My dad's now sitting outside on the back porch, chain smoking. I have never seen my dad smoke a day in my life, so I know something's wrong. I just know it. At this point, I decided to log onto my mom's Facebook because apparently I forgot the saying, curiosity killed the cat. I didn't really care about privacy or respect or any of those things that most people would. I just needed to know answers. I regret that decision to this day. I wish I had never logged on to my mom's Facebook. I wish I hadn't seen the messages between her and her friend. The messages insulting my dad, belittling my dad, the blatant disrespect of my father. I wish I hadn't been the one to find out that my mom was having an affair. Messages after messages, words on a screen, everything laid out. My mom was having an affair. I couldn't look at my mom. She disgusted me. But I couldn't look at my dad either. How long has he known? Why hasn't he confronted her? I slowly got up and lied to my parents and said I was going to a friend's house. But in reality, I just needed to drive. I got in my car, pulled out the driveway, and got to the end of the street and just started crying. The tears stained my steering wheel, pouring slowly and softly down my face. I couldn't breathe. I was so mad. No, I was pissed. I was pissed and hurt and confused. I tried to collect myself. I tried to stop crying, but I couldn't. So I just started driving. I didn't know where and I didn't know why, but I needed to go. Before I knew it, half a pack of cigarettes was gone and I was at my brother's house. I'm not sure how I ended up there. I guess muscle memory and subconscious knew I needed my brother. My brother has always been there for me. Since the day I was born until the day I die, I know I can count on my brother for everything and anything. So I collected myself, wiped the runny mascara off my face, and walked up to his door. I knocked, and he opened with a confused look on his face. And all I could say was, "Mom's cheating on Dad." And I started bawling again. My brother just took me into his arms and let me cry. His girlfriend, who is now his wife, came over and they both just hugged me. Physically, I was at peace there with them, but mentally, my mind was still going 500 miles an hour. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what was happening, but I knew my life was about to change completely. Flash forward 3 years. It's the year 2016. My parents are divorced, but they are happy. They're the happiest I've ever seen them. They're both in new relationships with people who love them and support them. It took me a while to realize this. It took me a long time to realize this. I didn't talk to my mom for 6 months. I hated her. I hated her boyfriend, and I tried everything I could to ruin their relationship. I know it sounds silly, but I think the space was what we needed. We both needed to do some growing, especially me. But now, we're closer than we've ever been, and I love my mom and her boyfriend Jeff very much. Although I regret that night, logging onto her Facebook, seeing those messages, I think it was something that would have come out to light. I put my blame on myself for the longest time, that their divorce, their problems and issues were all my fault. But I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. And even if I don't know what that reason is, I've learned that I really don't need all the answers. And that there's more than one definition to family. My family is different now. But that's okay. Why be normal when you can be different?